You probably already tried Microsoft 365 Copilot, and while it's great at summarizing emails, wouldn't it be even better if it could reply to emails on your behalf? Well, I found a way to do just that, and I had it running for over 2 weeks now. In this video, I'd like to walk you through how to set it up and how to configure it, and at the end I will share my experience and key takeaways. So I'm in Power Automate here, and the first thing we want to do is connect our Power Automate flow to when an email is received. And the next thing we're going to do is activate an AI builder prompt here. So we just choose create text with GPT using a prompt. And then we're going to go in and say we want to create a new prompt for this purpose. I'm going to call this prompt email category classification. And I need to provide the inputs here from name, subject, and body. And then I can instruct the model here. I'll just fast forward a little bit on how to classify the email. So I can classify it into something as a newsletter I'm receiving from someone. It's an email to everybody in the organization just with information. It can be an ask for trial. It could be people are asking something else of me. And then of course the other category. And the other category is important because if it doesn't fall into any of the above categories, I want something to have ChatGPT just put it down there so I know this is something else. I just need to provide some sample data in order to be able to save it. So I have some sample data, I can test it out, get a reply here, and we can see classified it as newsletter, but it's classifying it as text. That's difficult for me to read in Power Automate. So I'm just going to go in and switch it over to JSON. And let's test it again. And now it says category newsletter. That's perfect. Just copying this. So I, in a minute, can go in and use that in the tool and explain how the output will be. So now we can choose the new prompt here. And we of course need to provide the input for subject, from, and body. And then I'm going to go in and add a condition. So we say if this is of a certain type. Oh, before I do that, I just need to go and convert the body because the body contains a lot of HTML text. And we want to say just strip the HTML text, just give me the raw text. More to save tokens than to actually improve the model. So now we can say we have a condition here. So if the category is equal to a trial, or an ask for something. Then if it is a trial, we're gonna say, well, let's first of all mark the email as a read. So we're not gonna do anything else. And the next thing is of course to go in and say, we wanna plan this. So we are planning when we're gonna create the trial for the customer or the partner and give them a reply to them. And we're simply going to do all of this with the standard connectors that are in Power Automate to automate your email and your calendar. Now, of course, we need the subject. We also need a start time and an end time. And for the subject, I'm just going to use the subject from the email. And for the start time and end time, I want to calculate when is the next upcoming Friday. Now the built-in Copilot experience is not so good here, so I'm just using ChatGPT to calculate when is the next upcoming Friday, and the end time is just 1 hour later, so that's not a problem. And of course we need to remember the time zone here. And we also want to put the body in here to explain or just to copy the content of the email so I can remember what it is about when Friday comes. Great, that is ready. So the next thing we want to do is say, well, if this is not a trial, if ChatGPT identifies this as to be people are asking something of me, I want to create a process of, I'm just fast forwarding through this, where we go in and of course reply to the email, and we're asking ChatGPT here to create the reply for us. So I'm creating a new prompt to generate the content of that email or the reply to the email. And then of course we need an input here, which is of course the email body. And then we're simply instructed here what to do. I'm just skipping over here, so I'm going to see I instructed it to create and apply for an email. If they're asking me to help them with something or something similar, I'm just going to ask them to send me a calendar invite so we can plan this work together. If they are asking me to update something for them, I'll just let them know that let's do this as soon as possible. And you can, of course, instruct it to a lot more areas here. And maybe you also want to have different classifications of email that you receive. Great, let's just go in and put in the reply to the email here. And one thing that now I said I had this running for a while, but I always just sent it to myself. And this is simply just to see that the content that I sent it back, is that all right? Because this is still new and people are not used to actually getting a reply from an AI. So I want to see how far can I take this, but starting by sending it to myself to just do some pre-analysis on is this actually what I want to reply to those people. Great. So that is how I set it up. Obviously, I made a lot more steps here, like if it's coming from an automated system, if the data is coming from somewhere else outside my organization, inside my organization, I'm going to take different actions on it and instruct ChatGPT to give different answers to the users. So I promised an overview here of my learnings with this. So having this running for 2 weeks now, I must say that this has significantly improved my productivity. I wasn't expecting such big improvement when I first set this up, but with a little tweaks along the way, it's really improved my productivity. So I think, well, some of the key learnings here is that I have no more tedious repetitive tasks. Before I was jumping a lot around when I received something that you just need to get out of your head, then just jumping over to that task, even though it was non-urgent. Now the AI model simply just schedules that for me and let the users know, or the recipients know, that I'm going to do this in 1, 2, or 3 days. And most people are fine with that. Another thing that I learned was that I got a lot more better at prioritizing content that I received. The system allows me to strategically focus on which emails are critical and time sensitive and which one can be done at a later point in time. Like if I receive something from a customer who needs urgent support, I can prioritize and put it way up front. And if I receive some internal emails about data that needs updated, that's maybe not critical to the business, then I simply just push that back. Now it also allows me to be more strategic at my work approach. I think this is the biggest benefit. It lets me structure my work strategically. So if you're aiming at a promotion, or you are working in specific areas where you really want to improve, and you also got a lot of other tasks, it's very easy to instruct the AI to always prioritize tasks in your field. And just like that, it will automatically align your daily work with your long-term goals. Final thoughts, I can't wait for Microsoft to integrate this into Copilot for Microsoft 365, because I think this is a great feature. But until then, this workaround is, well, especially for me personally, a game changer for productivity.